Hey there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. You might have seen a video where I made these rings using a mold and some cane. I'm ready to make something with them. So I think what I'm going to do, I need to clean them up really well because there's still a little bit of kiln wash on here. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some square glass, and then I'm going to put, I've got 3 of these rings, and I'm going to put them in here as just concentric circles and make a design. So I've got a kiln shelf here, some paper. I'm gonna cut out my glass base. I'm gonna do square glass with the rings in the middle and try to get them as precise as I can on the glass centered. And then I'm gonna do a full fuse and we'll see what happens. So I don't know, we'll see. I'm a little concerned about bubbles, so I'm gonna do 2 layers of glass. I'm gonna do some powder in between. What I'm worried about is the weight of these rings kind of creating or sealing off the glass that's in the middle here and creating some bubbles. So I'm gonna do a really good bubble squeeze and use some powder in between, and I'm gonna cross my fingers and we'll learn together through this project. So let me cut my glass and then I'll be back to assemble it. All right, this is going to be even more of an experiment than I thought because I'm really having difficulty deciding on glass colors. And what I think I'm going to do is use this clear and French vanilla streaky and this aquamarine. And I think I'm going to cap this with the aquamarine. And what I anticipate is that the French vanilla and the aquamarine are going to react. This is copper bearing glass, this is sulfur bearing, the French vanilla. So I think that those are going to react and get kind of dark and create this dark kind of streakiness that may be a good match with the rings. It may not be, and that might not have the same reaction that I thought, but I'm going to give it a shot and just see what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out my glass. Okay, so nobody's perfect. As you know, I have accidents in my studio all the time and I share the failures. And in that case with the light aquamarine, I was trying to get too close to the edge with the rolled edge and I ended up breaking my piece when I was breaking it out. So I went with turquoise blue instead, 1416, or light turquoise? No, I can't remember. 1416 is the code. So I have put powder in between. I'm hoping that the powder doesn't create too much of a barrier to prohibit any interaction or reaction rather between the French vanilla and this turquoise. But it is what it is. I don't want bubbles, so I've put a little bit of that in there. And now I have drawn, you might not even be able to see this on the screen, but a thin black Sharpie marker line so that I could see exactly where my middle is to place my rings and hopefully get just as close to the actual center as possible. I have cleaned these up accordingly, and as I mentioned in the last video when I made it, this one actually cracked when I was getting it out, so there's a separation point somewhere, but I'm not worried about it because it's all gonna full fuse together nicely. So there's a lot of volume of glass here, so it may smush out the sides where I got kind of close to the edge. I did a 10 by 10 square. This circle's about 9. And if that happens, then I'll just have to do a little bit of cold working to the edge to kind of clean that up. So I think once I get these placed exactly where I want, I'm going to put just a small dab of blue glass tack gel to kind of keep it secure. Not a lot of glue, maybe even hairspray as a matter of fact, just to let it dry and then get it over to the kiln without having this shift, since I'm going to work on the placement so specifically. So I'm going to do a full fuse. I always share my schedules. Those are in the video notes on YouTube. If you don't know how to find those, just search it, Google it. But basically you click on the headline or you click on more, and that'll take you to see the video notes. That's where I put my firing schedule. So once I decide on a firing schedule, I'll put it in there and then go from there. You know what? I think as I'm sitting here thinking about it, once I dab this with the glue and I have it where I want, I think I'm going to dust a clear powder layer over the top of this just to try to prohibit too much devitrification forming potentially on these rings. So I'll do that yet too, and then put it in the kiln. All right, here is this finished piece. I don't know, mixed feelings. I think it's cool generally. So one, you guys were right. I'm really glad I kept this ring mold because it's super cool. And I think that doing the cane like this turned out even better than I expected, to be honest. I'm just disappointed with the lack of reaction, or the minimal reaction, and then that this green color turned out the way it is. I wish in the end that I had picked something maybe more like a elephant gray or something as a background. I think I would have been more pleased with that piece. I don't fully dislike this. There's the back with that French vanilla streaky, but I think color choice could have been different. I think I'm gonna name this something like snake bite or rattleskin or something, because this looks like a snake skin to me. I think in the end it's cool. I'm generally pleased with it. I think somebody will fall in love with it, and I hope it'll sell, but I might have done some different color choice in the future. I'm super excited about this ring mold that I have. Again, I know it's not available for everybody, but I've got another project in the kiln that I think I'm going to be even more excited about, so can't wait to show that to you. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so that you can see all future videos and get notifications from YouTube by selecting the little notifications. I think it's like a bell or something, but then you'll know as soon as one drops. And if you don't already follow me on Facebook, I post them all to Facebook as well, so make sure you check out my Facebook page. Catch y'all later. Bye-bye.